Welcome to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
Well, we like that opening so much we did it twice. Hi, everybody. I'm spiritual medium, psychotherapist, and author Kellee White, and welcome to Ask Me Anything on September 25th, 2025. See, the masters say to laugh, and that just cracked me up. A shout out to Bill Cinque, who was our announcer. He did a great job. Hi, Melissa. I'm going to say hi to a few people and talk about this energy because there's a lot I have to say, and it's a doozy energy, and that continues a bit. And I do have some positive things to say. But let me say hi to a few people. Hi, Melissa. Are we in the eclipse? Is the energy all topsy-turvy? Yes, the energy, we're out of the eclipse energy, kind of, not really, a little bit. And I am going to talk about that. But the energy is still, a bit topsy and a bit turvy. So, and yeah. And your dad and somebody's birthday is October 6th. Well, we are going to be talking about October 6th today. So, hi, Rita Vore. She says, Kellee, how was your birthday? I will mention that, Rita. That's so sweet of you. I had a really good time. Don and I ended up going to Madison for dinner. I wasn't going to go, and we decided to go, and we went to two different restaurants. That's right. So when I go out, we do it big. So we went to two restaurants chasing pizza in Madison. I have to say, it was pretty darn good. It's pretty good. Not like Chicago, but it was good. It was very good. So, and Rita says, I look forward to meeting you on the other side. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your life. I should be there in a couple of years. Oh, Rita. Well, if you are, then I cannot wait to see you when I get there. And while you're here, I'd love to see you here too, because I did get to see you in Alaska in person, and that was wonderful. You're just such a love, Rita. Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer says, I give such honor to your words. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. She says, can you give any lifting insight towards a new and realized healthy endings of this political path of our beloved USA? We need to grasp onto a belief again. I do have something positive to say. I have a lot of stuff to say, and part of that will be some positive thing, Jennifer. So listen to that. And I appreciate what you just said. Hi, Sherry Craft. I'm grateful for a shift in the wind as it has blown away the heaviest of the smoke from nearby fires. Wow. I remember those days, Sherry. And the shift in wind is important. It's such a good thing to be grateful for, right? This is Shy Pono. She said, my back problems last week turned into kidney infection this week. What a week. Thankfully on the mend. Weird energy. Oh, I'm glad you figured out what it is and that you're on the mend. Hi, Rick East. He says, it's official fall now. I know, I'm actually wearing my first fall outfit. I thought I'm going to kind of get into the energy of it because it's going to be 80 here in Wisconsin over the weekend. So I thought, well, I'm going to, do my, best to kind of get into the fall energy. I'm still in the summer energy, frankly, but I'm trying. Hi, Carolyn East. How are you, honey? She says, Kellee, this eclipse cycle is scary. Yeah, it was pretty intense. Given that, our daughter Julie is wondering if now is a good time for her to make an offer on a house. She and her wife are also starting a family. How great. Yeah, Carolyn, it is. It is, actually. And I'm going to talk about this. That energy kind of has released its grip. So I am going to talk about all of the things that people are doing right now. This really is a time to make different choices and to move forward. So yes, and I will, when it's time, I will pull a card for them, Carolyn. Hi, Jean. Happy fall blessings to you, honey. And I'll definitely get you a heaven card from your baby Lola. I will not forget, Jean. I will definitely do that. Let me just say hi to a couple more people, and then I'm going to jump into the astrology. Hi, Leslie. Hi, Stacy. And hi, Donna Mae. I love that name, Donna Mae. Hi, Sarah Stone. And hi, Laura. How are you? And yes, I'll get you a card from your grandmother, who your husband's grandmother. Yes, I will do that. But let me start with all of this now. Hi, Marge. Let me start with the astrology, because there's, first of all, I want to say thank you to everybody who wished me a happy birthday. It was so kind of everybody, and I got everybody's messages to me, and I read every one of them. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It was quite overwhelming, and just I felt a lot of love from everybody. So thank you so much. It was ended up being a wonderful day. You know, it was quiet until Don and I went out and in search of the best pizza in Madison, and it was really fun. We actually had a really fun day. So thank you, everybody. Then I rested on Sunday after eating all that pizza, and wine and martini. And it was really fun. I had a ball. So anyway, let's see. So let me get into the astrology because there's a lot I want to say. First of all, this month that I'm going to talk about, October of 2025, this brings a lot of shifts and it brings a lot of transformation. So we're just coming off of the impact of that September 21st, that partial solar eclipse in Virgo that we had. And when you come off of an eclipse like that, and in this last period of a few weeks, a few months, this energy has been very intense. And what I've noticed in my practice when I work with people is that almost everybody seems to be coming to this aha moment, like this moment in time of what they need to do. And so what eclipses do is they kind of cloud the energy and then open it up. And so I think people now are really looking at maybe it's time to declutter your life, whatever that would look like. If you're holding on to emotional trauma, physical trauma, professional trauma, professional life needing help, personal life needing help, it's kind of an energy that we're about to approach of making that transition from this road you were on to this new road that you're on. And so we're going to see that this is a period of time. I don't care how old you are. It's going to be a time for like making grown-up decisions. We used to say, putting your big girl pants on. It's that energy. It's like literally looking at your life. What is it that you need to either work on to help you get unstuck, to help you move forward? So this energy requires a lot of discipline. So let's talk about this energy. So that's what I'm looking at in my practice. Almost every single person has come to some place of aha, like, oh, I really need to do this. So first, I want to start with this. There are some large situations in October. So the first one starts on October 4th. And on October 4th, until November 24th. So October 4th to November 24th. So pretty much all of October and most of November. Rahu and Saturn are in a conjunction. And this happened earlier this year. It actually happened on March 30th until May 30th. And that was a real screwed up time. It was a really rough time. And but that was when Rahu and Saturn were in the same sign. They were both in Pisces. And now they are in conjunction in the same nakshatra. And that nakshatra is called Purva Bhadrapada. And that combination is considered very challenging because it blends Rahu, the North Node. This has an obsessive, like illusionary and kind of a materialistic energy. And that is in conjunction with close to Saturn, which is restrictive and karmic and disciplinary. And so this conjunction can bring out deep-seated issues where people are in a confrontation. And it's all about basically kind of brings everybody to a purification. Like, what can I let go of? What can I release? And this really requires inner wisdom, because that's really what's going to happen. Because Purva Bhadrapada, that nakshatra, it's fierce. It means deep purification. It means like confronting things that maybe you've not wanted to confront before. So also, it's got a dual nature because it goes between Aquarius and Pisces. And that lends itself, if you will, to a humanistic and a spiritual endeavor. So it's kind of drives transformation through inner work. So people will be doing their inner work. And it's a karmic confrontation because this conjunction that lasts pretty much October and November, it brings hidden issues to the surface and it forces people to confront past experiences or problems that they've ignored that have been suppressed. Purva Bhadrapada means the fierce inner warrior. And so it really encourages people to let go of and burn away, if you will, what no longer serves them to get to this new road of transformation. I was with a client today who really went through this experience in the last probably 2 weeks, actually probably last month. And it really led her, it was a hard last few months, I should say. It really was a hard, difficult situation she found herself in. And yet, she felt such release and relief and this renewed energy, this unbelievable vital life force that came up from this situation. And so I share that because that's what this time period is about. You know, we carry so much extra weight of emotional and physical and things that we just don't need to carry. And this is an energy of purification. So the next couple of months ought to be pretty interesting. And how it manifests is it brings challenges to authority. So people that have been authority figures, you might just be like, nah, I'm done. Like, nope. And it also can bring like uncomfortable or long-standing issues you've had in relationships, in your family, you know, a brother, a sister, whatever. Even in your career, it brings some sort of resolution, if that's possible. And also, you know, there would be an inner conflict because people have fear of, you know, confrontation. But I assure you, this is a time for it. And on a global level, if we look at the world, earlier in 2025 of this year, the conjunction contributed to this period of intense global unrest and challenges. So this upcoming phase will probably reactivate some of those themes, which would be social challenges, economic, possibly instability again, and geopolitical tension. So that's part of October and into November. The second thing we have going for us, also along this line, is it actually started on September 17th, but closer to probably the eclipse on the 21st. And this is Saturn and the Sun in opposition, and that goes until October 17th. So this, and I'll explain that in a minute, but the next, you know, the first 17 days, and where we are right now, frankly, until the first 17 days of October, there's this Sun-Saturn opposition, and that's where Earth is between the Sun and Saturn. And Saturn's on the opposite side of the Sun, and it makes it brightly visible, actually. But in Vedic astrology, this alignment is interpreted as a period of tension between the Sun, which represents the ego, okay, and the leaders in the world, and responsibility, which is Saturn. And when it's in opposition like this, this could bring pressure, delays, conflict. The need will be for patience, for an acceptance of responsibility, and it's huge for studying your personal growth. And you have to remember, we come to Earth to grow. That's why we come here. It's not all fun and games. I mean, we could laugh during certain times, and you know, and then cry and all kinds of things. But we come to grow, for our soul to really understand wisdom and get to that place. And it's through the challenging times that we get to that place. It's the kind of choices we make. So this creates a tension because so what happens is, what am I trying to say? Saturn is in Pisces, and that is an empathic piece of it. But the sun in Virgo also is kind of critical and practical. So it's going to be opposed, they oppose one another. And so it's really the ego versus responsibility, and leaders and responsibility. Okay. And so this is going to be an interesting time. It can bring a lot of conflicts with authority. Okay. So practice patience, accept responsibility. If you've caused a situation, accept responsibility. Stay grounded as possible as you navigate your own beliefs and belief systems that are possibly changing right now. Okay. And also, maintain your boundaries with people. This is something that I think it's very important, and it's healthy. It's healthy to maintain and strengthen boundaries. Last week I talked a little bit about pain bodies, and this is a time. It's healthy to know that it's healthy to set a boundary. Okay. So also, it can be a very confusing time. So perhaps pay attention instead. Just really think about what's going on here. So on October 6th, so that's kind of a highlight for most of the month of October. There's some other big things that I'm going to say. I kind of wanted to give a little overall on that. And on October 6th, we have a full moon, and it's at 20 degrees of Pisces in Vedic Astrology. It's in Revati, the nakshatra Revati. And Pisces is the last sign in the zodiac. And the nakshatra Revati is also the last nakshatra in the zodiac. And so therefore, this full moon is about completions, endings. That would be like the general theme of this. And what happens when we have an ending? We have a new beginning. This particular full moon on October 6th emphasizes endings, moving forward. It is an opportune time to release old patterns. And I'm sure that, Michelle, I know you're listening, that we will put up some tips for this, to help you release old patterns on this full moon, because it's a big one. It really is, between all the other intense energies that come in October. This one really is for you to look at what truly is no longer serving you. What can you let go of? What do you need to let go of? Do you have resentment? That's a big one. I've been working with a lot of my people that come to see me. I've been really holding on to resentment lately. Are you holding on to resentment? Do you resent this or that? And really, for what reason? You get to a point where how long do you want to hold on to that resentment? I'm pissed off because, is it righteous indignation? I mean, really go deep and deep and deep, because that's how things come out. You really allow yourself to go there. And I know a lot of people in certain generations were not allowed to express themselves. They weren't allowed to even feel anything. They were shut down. So this is a great full moon to start feeling and getting in touch with what you need to get in touch with. And if it's anger, that's okay too. Whatever it is something that will help you. Okay, because this full moon helps to facilitate emotional healing, and it encourages that with compassion and kind of surrendering to whatever the state is that you're feeling. So also, this full moon occurs at a Gandanta point. And I remember, I haven't said the word Gandanta in a while, but that's the energy between the water sign of Pisces and the fire sign of Aries. And that particular zone represents a potent transition. And it's like the symbolic death of the old, and it paves way for the new beginnings. And sometimes that's just not easy. And yet we all go through these times. Somebody said to me early this morning and yesterday, it was funny, 2 days in a row I heard about peeling the onion. And it's true, like peeling the damn onion. It just like, am I ever going to unpeel it all? I don't know. I don't think so. Keep going. And then on October 13th, Pluto, which is the planet of death and transformation, you want to talk about powerhouse, the powerhouse, it has been retrograde. But on October 13th, it stations direct, to go direct. And when any planet stations, it gets more powerful and intense. And so when Pluto goes direct, and it's in 7 degrees in Capricorn in Vedic astrology, after months of being retrograde, it kind of is the culmination, if you will, of long-term themes of transformation and evolution. So we are going to be going through, and the world will be going through a lot of evolution, because that's the goal of Pluto. And Pluto doesn't care how you feel. It really could care less. It just goes in, pretty much destroys, and you start all over again. And that's pretty much how that works. But I did have something, important that is going to happen to talk about. And this could bring some relief and wisdom. And what it is on October 18th. So it's funny, right when Sun and Saturn are not opposed any longer, because the Sun actually will go into Libra on the 17th. But on the 18th, until October 18th, until December 4th, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. And see, Jupiter currently is in Gemini, and it stays in a planet, or it stays in a sign for 1 year. But this is a period, it's an unusual time, and this will go into Cancer, from Gemini into Cancer, just for 6 weeks? It's a small window, but it is exalted in Cancer. And then it will go back to Gemini. And then in June of next year, of 2026, for 1 year, it will be exalted in Cancer. But we're going to get a taste of this. And what it does is it gives renewed optimism. And I think it's so important, because what happens is Jupiter provides wisdom. So in chaos, there will be people that will step up, that will provide wisdom. And it's instead of just like reckless conflict, it becomes a little more strategic. And there could be breakthroughs in diplomacy. And it's a short window, but this all could happen as it gets very intense, as this energy, again, continues this intensity. It's different than the eclipse energy, and yet it is still a changing energy, okay? But from October 18th to December 4th, and if your birthday is during that time, there's some certain blessings that come with this, because it means that at your birthday, there will be, Jupiter will be exalted. And Jupiter is wise, it's large, it's expansive, and it's wisdom, and it's spirituality. So, and it's nurturing, and it's a positive influence. So I think that's really important. And of course, there are a lot of other aspects, but the last aspect I am going to talk about is on October 27th. And October 27th until December 8th. So you see, we have conflicting energies. You're going to say, but Kellee, didn't you just say that? Yes, I did. I said that this certain energy is coming on that's extraordinary. It's almost like, like a battle here, one could say. On October 27th, again, until December 8th, we've got Mars, which is the planet of war, and Mars is a trigger, and it's transiting into Scorpio. At that exact time, it will square Rahu, and that causes global unrest, could be cyber warfare, social movements. The world will be on edge, and yet I'm telling you, there is some wisdom or something good that occurs. Okay, it's something amazing will happen, even though it's a very intense time, because when this Mars transits into Scorpio and it squares Rahu, Scorpio represents transformation as well, and it also represents secrets and hidden things, could be hidden grudges. And Mars is the planet of aggression and dominance. So this could have to do with armed forces, it could have to do with weapons, it could have to do with violence. And it's a very rough time that can lead to huge social change here through rebellion. So there will probably be a lot of large-scale protests, and old systems dissolve. it's going to be I think, a pretty intense time. And at the same time, there's this odd blessing that comes in. So it tells me that uh, there'll be a lot of help that comes in with this. So those are the kind of the key planetary things that I see for October. There, of course, there are a lot more. And every week I'll go over some more of them. I would say, this is a large month yet again. When people ask me, Kellee, when's it going to get easier? I'm like, well, it's not. It's just how this is. How is it that we're accepting things? How do we want to change things? How do we want to change in our life? It's an extraordinary time to be alive on Earth, because you will be challenging yourself as well. And not every lifetime you get that. So people did want to be here for this. I know it's an odd thing that I'm going to say, but it is. Kim Jones says, Kellee, do I get a take on the potential tropical system in Melda? Oh, coming inland next week. A bit worried about that in North Carolina. Kim, it's interesting. I am concerned about that, because Neptune is still retrograde, and that is the planet that brings about huge water situations. So yeah, I am concerned about that, especially next week, as these energies, get shifted again. So yeah, I am. It is. Wow. So, I was in a hurricane. Was it last year? I think it was last year. How time flies. I think it was last year, on Tybee Island, Georgia. That's right. And it's pretty awful. Not a lot of fun. It's pretty awful and very scary, actually. I thought it was very scary. I've been in earthquakes my whole life, but that one scared the heck out of me. Anyway, I do want to mention a few things here, and then I'm going to answer as many questions as I possibly can and get the cards out for everybody. If you are interested in unusual crystals, and especially now with these odd energies that are coming in, we are discovering new crystals, and new crystals have the different energies that help us during this time. And we have an upcoming class. I have an upcoming class with Shauna McDonald, who owns the Crystal Shrine in Burbank, California. And Shauna knows everything about crystals. And we're going to be talking about it's going to be a very powerful class on unusual crystals, their vibration, how to use them. So you can check this out on my website at kelleewhite.com events, but it's called Unusual Crystals. And that is on October 11th. It's a Saturday. And it is at 11 a.m. Central Time. And it's a 2.5-hour class. And I think you'll love it. And of course, if you have questions about any of your crystals, we'll answer the questions. And I tell you, Shauna is extraordinary. So that's a great one. And also, I know, Anne Margaret, you've been asking me, when is it that James and I are getting back together? Crystal Ball. We're getting back together on October 14th. So we're so excited. And that's at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And it's called You and the Universe. And we are going to dive into conversations that heal and inspire and awaken. And so this is going to be like where psychology meets spirit. So we're really excited, and we will be bringing lots of spiritual wisdom and messages from beyond. So we're really excited about our new show. It's a Tuesday, so we're switching from that Monday to a Tuesday. We just thought we'd give it a little facelift here. So, and I still have a few places left for the Power of 10 on October 18th. So if you've ever wanted to work with me and you just want to see how I am to work with, everybody in this group, I take 10 people, and everybody gets 10 minutes of personal time with me. And I'm solely focused on you during this time. And I have found that each group I do is so supportive, and it's got such a high vibration to that. And there's insights that I might be saying to you and it goes to somebody else. And there's always some amazing thing that connects everybody. So you would be, it's really, if you are curious, you should do it. It's really, I love my Power of 10 groups when I do them once a month, and I just love them. We also have some room, I understand, I think, at the All Souls Retreat in Wisconsin. November 7th and 9th with Jen Weigel and Amy O'Keefe, and it's at the beautiful Abbey Resort. And I've been there several times. I've been a guest speaker many times, I think every time actually. And I'm going to be speaking about empaths. I'm going to have a whole spin on the empaths that I'm going to be talking about. So anyway, it's really an inspirational weekend on All Souls, November 7th to 9th, and you can find that on my website. And then the last thing I want to talk about is my Roots of Healing, Healing the Chaos Within. And this is going to be live on Zoom on November 15th at 11 a.m. Central Time. It's like 4 hours. And it's going to be with Dr. Shirley Impellizzeri and Carrie Gonia. And we're going to look at the karmic imprints, the heavy soul contracts, how about these personality disorders, these patterns. And we're going to look at family constellation. And Dr. Shirley brings this whole clinical expertise to all of this. And Carrie, of course, does extraordinary with family constellation. And I'm going to be talking about, our families and the chaos within from a spiritual standpoint. So please join us if you can. And that is November 15th. And I will tell you, you will learn so much. And if you can't take it, I'll re-record it. And same with the crystal class. And if you purchase it now, then and you can't be there in person, then we will send that to you. So, okay, so I answered your question, Anne Margaret. And then Sue Goding has a question. She says, Kelly, there is something that randomly visits me. I'm aware of it when I'm on my bed. It typically, when I wake up, I can't see it, but I can feel it moving each step around the bed. It feels like a small dog. I'm not familiar with cats. We do have a small dog, but he's always asleep when it happens. What is it? And what I don't know. I don't have a clue. But what you can do is get real still and ask it why it's visiting. Ask it what is it about this? Because we all have the ability to do that. Just get real still, and if you just keep feeling it, just ask what's going on here. Is it if you already have a dog? Is it a dog that has passed? That often happens. So just ask around. That's what you can do. And so Laura Crump says, Kelly, when we let go of unwanted or not needed energies that we still keep and see and feel the lessons learned as growth and soul learnings. Yeah, when you let go, great question, actually. When we let go of unwanted or just old baggage, just old baggage, when we start to declutter ourselves, those are lessons that our guides view as growth. Now, if we run back in that direction of the old energies, is that growth? The guides will be like, oh, look, there she goes again. She just went back into the situation. So you really want to move forward through doing the work on yourself, letting go of what you really, that you've learned. And funny, Laura, it's a funny thing. When you've learned something, literally, you'll know it. That is an aha moment. You go, oh, no, I don't need to do that again. No, I've done that. And most of us do things many times before we get there. I mean, please. That's why you can't have any judgment when somebody picks this or picks that. You just go, oh, okay, I get it. Been there, done that. Burn the shirts. Okay. Marie Bonetti says, well, I see my grandchildren either Thanksgiving or Christmas, and your birthday is 9/15. 9/15 is a 9 of clubs with a 9 of spades. It means to complete. So Marie, here's the thing. How you view this is you let go of any expectation. And the most amazing things will happen. Okay, so you let go of any will this. Instead, you go, let's see how this plays out. It's a different way to view things, but it's an important for your growth because you're a double 9, and 9s need to understand completion. And so part of the completion package is when you have no expectations. Oh, okay, it's this or it's that. So don't worry about it. It's an interesting place you find yourself in for growth. Talk about growth, right? So Nancy Dominic asked me this question, and I was so excited she asked me this question. Nancy, I love this question. She says, Kelly, I hope all is going well with you. It is. She said, I've had 3 tremendous readings with you. Thank you, honey. But I have one question. She said, I'm going through a rough time right now. And her husband had died. She says, I think your answer will help. So the first time I met you was at River Forest with James. So a year ago in July of 2024, James and I think it was July, James and I were in Chicago and we did a live event. And she said, I went to see James and I didn't know you. She said, you pretty well gave me proof that my husband spoke through you. How did he know where to find you? You said he woke you up at 3 a.m. She says, thanks for being you. So let me explain to everybody and to you, Nancy, what happened. Is James and I had planned to go to Chicago in July of 2024 to do a live reading. And as things happen, whenever you do anything, particularly a live session with people, a live reading, we had, I don't know how many people were there, 150 people or something. And whenever that happens, Spirit will get our attention any which way they can so we can give a message to their loved one. So about 4 or 5 days, maybe even a week before I went to Chicago, I was going to bed. And I remember, I think it was a Sunday night. And as I was going to bed, I saw in my mind a man standing there telling me to ask me to please give a message to his wife that she was going to attend this event in Chicago. And I have chills as I say the story. And I was very tired. It was like Sunday night. And I'm like ready to go to sleep. And I'm like, is this, and you have to ask yourself, I don't care who you are, is this like happening? I said, what? I hear you. And what's the message? And I forget now what it was, but it was making sure that his wife got the message. And I don't remember exactly what it was. So I said to him, look, let's do this. I got to go to sleep. So if you're still here in the morning, or if you still give me that message in the morning, but I'm clear, then it's on. The next morning I woke up and same thing happened. And he started being really clear and he gave me a lot more detail. And I said, oh boy, I said, I will help you. I'll find your wife for you. And that happens. And that wasn't the only thing that happened for that particular July of a live event. Another thing that happened is that James and I had gone to lunch in Chicago. It was the day of the event. The event was like at 7 at night, I think. And actually, James and I had gone to breakfast. I think he had done a TV show earlier. I can't remember. There was a lot going on. But that morning, I think it was after the TV show, we went to have breakfast. And we were having breakfast, and we were sitting outside of this lovely cafe. And a woman suddenly sat right between us. And we both were kind of stunned. And then she took James's plate and started eating his food. And we were both like, here, take it. Would you like some coffee? Do you want some water? Here's a fork. Here's a napkin. We felt such compassion for this woman who was clearly homeless. And she picked up her plate and she just walked off, And we were just kind of stunned. And I turned to James at that exact moment and I said, I guarantee we're going to do a session tonight. I guarantee a homeless person comes through for somebody in this room that they have to see. And I said, I think it's a man that will come through, even though it was a woman that sat down with us. And sure enough, both things happened. So what happened is when I stepped up on stage, I can't remember how, Nancy, that it was directed to you, but the message was from you and from your husband, and I can't remember the details, and I'm so sorry that I can't, but it was very specific for you and your husband. And he was so how that happens is once you sign up for something like that, or you might get the feeling or the impression, because that side says, you know what, go have a session with this one, or go have a session with that one, or whatever. I always feel like the other side picks the medium, because for different reasons, different mediums specialize in different things. I happen to be a therapist also, so maybe there's some compassion or forgiveness that has to go on, or some anger issues, or, whatever it happens to be. Who knows? No judgment. So anyway, the souls will come in, and that's how that works. And then we did have a homeless situation while we were at this event. So it was just, that's how that works, Nancy. So I hope that helps. And it's just to show you your husband is always around you, honey, always. So Elizabeth says, Kellee, you said assassinations. I did. I can't remember when I said that, a week or two ago, before the Charlie Kirk thing. Yes, I did say that. And I did say something about the 24th, whether it was going to be war or something that was going to go on, and what there was an ice shooting. There was yeah, and you talk about something that happened in Denmark, and yeah, these are sometimes. She says Kellee and her astrology should be working for the Pentagon. If my late husband were still alive, I could arrange it. That's very funny. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. So here you go. So let me answer. Oh, let me get you some cards. Okay. So Jean, I didn't forget about Lola. How you doing, honey, with that? Oh my gosh. Let me just get these cards. These are James's cards, talking to heaven. Let's get a card from your Lola girl. Let's see here. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Lola. She's good, Jean. I got chills. I'm just a thought away. Now, I know this card is backwards, but you see the little, looks like a Jack Russell. There you go. There you go. I'm just a thought away. So she is with you. She's definitely with you. And there was another card, and the other card was for Carolyn, for your daughters. Let's get your daughter and daughter-in-law. Let's get a card for them. Let's see. Here we go. Oops. Hold on a minute. That's from the wrong deck. Sorry about that. Ooh, I like this. Feel joy in all you do. Feel joy in all that you do. So get the car or get the house. Absolutely. It's a time for great transition. It's just that time. Hi, Ann Rogers. How are you, honey, from Canada? How are you? Oh, Judy, you're going to go to All Souls. I'm so excited. Oh, I can't wait to see you too. Happy birthday, Kellee. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Laura Crum says there's always seems to be a powerful theme that pertains to all participants. It's so true, Laura, because you've been involved, and I think your husband and other family members, and it's kind of extraordinary. Oh, let me get you a card too, Laura, from the grandmother. Ooh, I feel healthy and happy. Healthy and happy. I think she wants your husband healthy and happy, because that's a man standing there. There you go. That's what I think. Thank you, Lisa. I love the fall colors too. I'm starting to, get my energy. I don't know about you guys, but I have this weird thing with color and with sound. I mean, it's an HSP empath thing. I have to really be in the mood to wear a certain color. My granddaughter is the same way. My father was the same way. And sound is really important to me. Oh, my God. Okay, Tammy Connor says, Kellee, can I tell you about the symbolism for a crow? Yes. And you saw one in your dreams. Very important. So crows are shapeshifters. So they change the way we are. They will help bring us to a place of change. They also represent family. So is there something, Tammy, in your family that you maybe need to release, like through a family constellation idea? Because crows bring family. So Kim in Nature, yes, I have been hearing about this 31 Atlas. I mean, I'm telling you, there's so many things now that are going on here. Christine Salisbury says, what happens if you have one thing that you don't want to let go of? Knowing the lesson, but keeping the memories alive. Is that going to harm your life journey? I don't think so, Christine. I'm not sure exactly. I mean, if you don't have to let go of anything. I mean, if it's, always do no harm to yourself. So if I'm not sure exactly what it is, but you have free will here, and you can make all the decisions you want. If you know the lesson and you just want to keep the memories alive, that's fine too. Absolutely, that's fine. So it's not going to harm your life. I don't think your life journey, not at all. Okay, I hope that helps. Wanda Man would love a card or message from my husband. Is he still with me? Believe it yourself. You can do it. And it's so funny. Wanda, I think your husband had a good sense of humor. It's a man jumping over a cliff. You can do it. I don't recommend jumping over a cliff. I don't think that would be good. Hi, Carla. She's a sunshine. I keep hearing spirit telling me to ask for a card. Let's get you a card from the messages from the guys. Ooh, now this is interesting, Carla. Accept struggles as lessons. And I'm sorry it's backwards because of the way this is, but accept struggles as lessons. So I think that it's kind of it's very true, actually. Whatever it is that we are all struggling with, there are lessons, and once you understand that component of it, I don't know, there's a whole release of energy there. So Emily says, how do you let go of the feeling in limbo? Well, what do you think you're in limbo? Is limbo a light depression, or is it you just don't know what the late next thing will be? And that's okay too, because there are energies where it's fine. Again, energy is a funny thing. Ultimately, it pushes us along. And there are times of being in limbo. And you have to ask yourself, is there anything you want to do? Is there anything are you depressed? That's another way to view it. If we look at it with all the different lenses. So look at that, Emily, to see if you are depressed. Marge Rutka, yeah, and your birthday was September 18th, really close to mine. So let's get you a card from the guides. Thoughts create your reality. Thoughts create your reality. Boy, is that true. This is why, no matter what, we have to have, to the best of your ability, non-negative thoughts. I'd use the word positive thoughts, and I'm not trying to be Pollyanna about it, but think of the blessings. Think of what brings you joy, and maybe you don't know what brings you joy, and that's okay. Start simply. What do you have gratitude for? Are you breathing? Did you have a nice cup of coffee in the morning? Did you have some hot tea? I mean, things like that, the simple things. First thing I do when I wake up, the first thing I do is I have my dogs right there, and I'm starting to pet my dogs and all of that. Well, not Otis. Otis is always in another room. But Charlotte, my girl, is always there with me. And then I let the dogs out and I look at nature. I want to see the birds. I want to see the trees. That brings me, it just does something to my vibration. It just changes everything. It really sets the tone for me. You're welcome, Nancy. Judy says, can I have a card? Yes. Now, your birthday is 3/17. So March 17 is the 6 of diamonds. 6 of diamonds is about fair and balanced. Fair and balanced. It's always really important to be fair and balanced, particularly with finances, interesting enough. But let me get you a card. Oops, sorry. From the wrong pile. Patience. Here we go. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Patience. It's a virtue, as they say. And I think that we will all be tested with that. Wasn't that a good card, Jean? I thought that was too. Pammy Greening says, good morning. Kelly, is January 2026 a good start for a business with a birthday of, yes, as a matter of fact, and your birthday is September 24th. Yes, which is a King of Hearts. And it's funny, yes, I was just working on a chart for somebody whose birthday was September 24th. And January 2026 will be a good time to start, actually. It will be, Pam. I'm glad you asked that. That's interesting. Best energies happen in the fall, Marge. Oh, I'm glad to hear you say that. I think so too. I think I've got some really good energy. Deep Dwan says, first time here, just love your show and your vibes. Thank you. Let's get you a card from the guides. Focus on the positive. Focus on the positive, which is what I'm saying. I think it's really important that we all focus on the positive. Oh, Marilyn, let me get you a card, honey. Here we go. Calm is not a weakness. This is a keeper. Calm is not a weakness. It's really funny because when you're calm, you're not in drama. And when you're not in drama, you're actually in your power and your strength. And so some people might look at it as a weakness. It's certainly not. It's actually being in your power when you're calm. Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna hold on to this card. I like that. Calm is not a weakness. Okay, Christine says, Kelly, my precious kitty was just diagnosed with cancer. Can I pull a card for her? You betcha. Here we go. Pride. Ooh, she must be a prideful kitty. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Pride. Oh my gosh, Christine, take care of this one. Take care of her. I mean, I know you are. I think she's going to bounce back. And I think she's going to show a lot of people how to be. She's got an energy about her. That was really good. That's very positive. Kim in Nature, may I have a card? And your birthday is 9/14. So all of these September birthdays, we were all hit probably, with this eclipse energy, which was not a lot of fun. They never are, I don't think. A 10 of clubs. Ooh, 10 of clubs is all about a brain that has a brain. It's all about creativity, the teacher. It's pretty extraordinary. I love 10 of clubs. They're so creative. Ooh, you are never alone. Okay, let's all remember this one. You are never alone. And you've heard me say this a million times. If you've been listening, I know it's not possible to be alone. It feels that way. It feels that way. We have guides, spirit guides. We have loved ones from the other side. And speaking of that, I have sessions available in October for sessions with me. I just remembered to say that because I do a spirit guide reading. And they'll be the first ones to show up and let me know what's going on with the person. What do they need to work on? What's going on? So it's not possible to be alone. It's a feeling on earth that we are, but we're not. It's just not possible. It's not possible. Linda, your 69th birthday is tomorrow. Well, let's get you a card. Here we go. Have an attitude of gratitude. Linda, how great. Happy birthday, honey. Happy birthday to you. And the 26th of September is the Jack of Hearts. So that is not easy. That means it was a sacrifice birth placement. Happy birthday to you. Shamina Vishram says, any message for me, dear? Well, I don't know. Let's get you a card here. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. I think that's important. I think we all have to learn from our mistakes. I do. Monda says her husband has a good sense of humor. Great, great. Okay, Judy, you'd like a card, and your birthday is October 28th, which is a 7 of Hearts. 7 of Hearts is spiritually understanding of emotions. Anytime I say a heart, it's all about emotions, but the 7 is like having a deeper understanding of spirituality with emotions. Often I find psychologists and lawyers on that day. Kind of interesting. Stay open-minded. Stay open-minded. Hi, Renee. May you have a card? You bet. I have been drawn to collaborate. Is it a good idea on healing charity project with the sound healing and death doula? I am grateful. Oh, I've got chills. Honey, I think your husband brought you to that one. Yes. Yes. What a great idea. Especially, Renee. Let me get you a card, honey. Ooh, worry is a wasted emotion. So don't worry about it. Just do it. It is so true. Worry is such a wasted emotion. It just is. It just seems to have to play itself out. However, Renee, you'd be great at that because you're a natural healer. You'd be excellent. Let me know how this works for you, Renee, because you're going to do great work with that. And this is a time period that we need this kind of energy. So we have to be able to lift ourselves up through this roller coaster of intensity that comes through the planet, has been marching its way through as we go through this. But remember, there's going to be time period, this one particular time period, I think it's October 17th till December 4th, where Jupiter goes into its exalted sign of Cancer. And that brings wisdom. So, but my point is, Renee, that a lot of people are going to need healing and compassion and this kind of a thing. And yeah, do it. Renee, I can't think of anybody better to do that than you. Karen, your birthday is Saturday. Yes, you can get a card. Of course, Karen. And your birthday is September 27. 10 of Hearts. 10 of Hearts is all about learning about themselves. So let's get you a card here. Tell you, they have a sense of humor. Know thy truth. Know your truth. It's literally what you're about, honey. It's to know your truth. Oh my gosh. I love this. I love this. Okay, Judy says, can you tell me what a wolf totem means? Yes. Well, looking at trees recently, the image of a wolf head appeared. Oh, I had a lot of thoughts on it, Judy. That's fantastic that image appeared to you. So wolves are a lot about family and taking care of the family. And also having like a steady strength that comes with wolf, and they have this ability to see through things. wolf totem is one of the, if not the strongest totem to have. When you see a wolf, it brings you into your power. That's a big thing, Judy. So pay attention to that. And it could have to do with family as well, like bringing your power into with your family. Like all of a sudden now you're the power person, or taking care of the family. Wolf loves family. But, oh boy, it's a big one. Yes, Emily, you can have a card on. Let me get you a card. Give without expectation. Give without expectation. And that's 523. Your birthday in May 23rd is, oh yeah, the double nine, 9 of clubs, 9 of spades, completion. Carla says, thank you for the card. I had to chuckle about the card. It's a reminder of embracing all the experiences with grace. Oh my God, is that the truth? Is that the truth, Carla? I mean, I think that's the key to life, right? Is to get to a point of grace. In fact, that is the point. Like we'll be thrown into all kinds of chaos. And then you have your, situations, you come out of it, and you come out with wisdom, hope, grace, understanding, compassion. This is why we come to Earth. So it will seem like a crazy place, and it is. The whole time, it's about you getting to that place of wisdom through the craze, whatever the crazy is. And it's here. It is here. Lori Clark, can I have a card? Absolutely, you can have a card here. Give without expectation, Lori. There you go. Nadine from Europe. Hi, Nadine. Celebrate a beautiful birthday. You're so sweet. Let's see. Nadine, ask for guidance. Ask for guidance. Okay. I love that. Elena says your words are so comforting. Thank you, honey. I appreciate that. Hello, Carol says, I just subscribed and I've been watching you with James. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you're watching me with James. And I'm really excited about doing our show together. We have that new show coming up on the 14th of October. And Deep T says, I feel the presence of my husband's father. Can you give me some guidance on his presence? Oh, let's get a card for you from him. Ooh, his mind is free. His mind is free. I'm not sure what that means in this case, but here we go. And Leshel says, my birthday is 12/15. Let me get you a card. Lead by example. Here we go. Okay, and Justine says, can I have a card for my son? He's turning 16 this Saturday. Here we go. Forgive yourself. So he should be looking at forgiveness here, I think, for having lots of relationship challenges. Yeah, so probably a lot about forgiving. And, when he's probably young, he's only 16. He's got a lot to learn. It's hard to be a mom of a 16-year-old. It just is. It's hard to be a mom, frankly, at any age. Oh my God, MTV Media, Sparkles, Kelly, you said something about the Jack of Clubs on December 9th. Can call things forth, totally agree. Any suggestion on what to do when one is stuck to get the momentum back? Yes, so when you are stuck, to get the momentum back, some of the things that you should do is go out and work out. Get that energy going. Get out and start moving about. Get out and start moving. Moving about moves the energy, and then you do literally, physically, and emotionally start to feel better by moving. So do that, especially Jack of Clubs. Jack of Clubs can do anything and pop out of a cake. So do that. I think that would be really, really good. Okay, Connie, this is the last one, and let me get you a card here, Connie. Obviously, trust your intuition, honey. So trust your intuition, and that's for you. And Orly says, Kelly, my birthday was September 21st. Okay, now I have to tell you, September 21st, my favorite day, my granddaughter's birthday, and Earth, Wind, and Fire's September 21st. Do you remember that? And I just watched, thank you, Luann, for reminding me about Earth, Wind, and Fire. They just did a big thing on Sunday, and it was so fun for me to watch it. But anyway, I go on and on about September 21st. Follow the golden rule. And I'll say this, Orly, your life will probably change a lot this year because the eclipse was on your birthday. So everybody have a great night. And I look forward to seeing you next Thursday. And go to my website and join I have an app. You can join us. We have next Friday, we have a meet and greet, 5 o'clock somewhere again next Friday. It's every other week. We get to meet at 5 o'clock on a Friday. And anyway, go to my app. You'll love it. We've got lots of great things. Go to my website. Lots of things to look at there. So have a great, great night, everybody, and I'll see you next week.
You've been listening to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.